join this growing community. They post their tips and tricks, and they can post requests which I'll review, and then I'll share with everyone. I'll have some news which I'll share either during the tutorial or near the end of the video. Okay, so on to the intro. As you can see, it says tiny pie, huge game server. So play on words. I hope you guys get that. All right. So on to the show. So as you can see, I have a screenshot of Nakama. That's the application we're going to use today. And it's obviously you can install it straight, especially if I'm on Linux. So I can install it right on the, for example, a computer like the tiny Raspberry Pi, or I can also install it as a container. That's one of the ways I'm going to show it to you using Podman Desktop. And might as well share the news. So I've decided to create an article to come out sometime in next week, where I'll do a full deep dive between the differences between Docker and Podman. So that's going to be the podcast for next week, one of the podcasts for next week. So be sure to tune in for that, because a lot of people have requested, they wanted to know why I use Podman instead of using Docker. So there won't be any installation of applications. What I'm saying is that there won't be any software we'll just talk about it, and that will be upcoming. It's about 8 days from the time this tutorial goes up. So the Raspberry Pi Zero W, the one that I have, I got it in 2018, but it was, I believe, a 2017 version. So it has a 1 gigahertz single core Broadcom BCM2A335. It has 512 megabytes of LDDR2 SD-RAM. It has a micro SD card slot. It has Wi-Fi, BGN, and Bluetooth 4.1. I usually turn off the Bluetooth. I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi as well for now, because I use a USB cable to get a USB Ethernet, and then it has one micro USB port. And this is where you can plug in your keyboards or things like that. And there's another USB port, but that one is only for charging. And then it also comes with a mini HDMI port. I think I only use this literally one time. Most of the time, because I just SSH into it, or I use the micro SD card with an adapter onto the workstation or laptop, make the changes there, and then plug it in. Okay, and now, as you guys know, I've done tutorials where I have updated it, and I'm actually using Raspbian now. Before I used different I think one time I used just pure Debian. I'm using a Raspbian to make the updates more more streamlined, so I don't have to worry, can I install this, I know Debian does a pretty good job, but having a Raspbian, I know it will just be for ARM. I don't have to worry about things which are not ARM based, especially because it's 32-bit, because of the amount of RAM it has. This is 32-bit. I run a 32-bit system instead. Most of the distros no longer support although some do a decent job, but they really don't care about 32-bit systems. So Raspbian, especially with this guy, which the Raspberry Pi Foundation, whatever the company said, they will support it until 2030. So I still have really good life out of this guy so that's fantastic. All right, so basically, so Nakama requires a database to store the player information. Postgres is the reliable choice, but I think I'm going to use MySQL. I'll double check on that. I haven't looked at this. So one of the problems is when I usually create these tutorials, sometimes I create them, it could be a few days before, sometimes it's a month. So obviously, because I have other things to do, like including work, sometimes I forget how I got it working. But definitely when I write the article, I do actually make sure it does work. So you download the ARM v6. That's basically, as I said, 32-bit version. Not the 64-bit because of this particular Pi. So some of the later Pis, obviously, they have 2 cores or more, so you can easily run 64-bit systems, and you won't have the same issues like I'm gonna have. Okay, and then yeah, so and then when it says Fedora machine, that's obviously my workstation. You can ping the Pi, and then after that you can get the game server running. As you can see here, these are the command stuff that I did. Basically, I'm using, as I said, I'm using a container. So there's really no need to even use Podman Desktop, but if you do want to use Podman Desktop, I'll show you how to. You know what? We don't actually need Podman Desktop, because you see, all you need to do is just go and get the YAML file. So today we're going to actually do the command line, because the command line will make it easy actually to run this little guy as well. Okay, so sorry, by the way, I forgot to mention that's my Raspberry Pi, as you can see, HDMI port, and this is the USB port where you can plug in keyboards, things like that, and also like for the Ethernet, the USB Ethernet, and the last one here on the side, that's only for power. When I bought this, it came with a case, obviously the motherboard, which is I think it's called a system on chip, and they also gave me a power brick. But I said, because for these tutorials I just use this middle guy, so it gets power from the workstation and also the Ethernet as well. I did turn on Wi-Fi on this little guy. So the good things about the Wi-Fi is that I can just basically plug in the power brick to this guy here. It's also a micro USB, and then I could get Wi-Fi. So this is what I would do when I'm outside, when I take this guy outside during later in the spring and summer. All right, so after that, you see, basically just go to this URL and you have Nakama here, and then you can see this is the game server here, as you can see, and that's it. And this is the live screencast, so we're recording this live. I'm going to stop it right there. Perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll show you the link for the Nakama website. I think it's this one, Heroic Labs. I can say Heroic Labs. You see Nakama. It's a popular, scalable, open source game server for building social multimedia games. So, and this is the Nakama toolkit. It's called Hero, but we're not doing this one today. We're just doing Nakama. So you can simply go to download. They also have other application and services. So you go download. You see here, and then all you do is, I said, you can download it here. As you can see, it is open source. Okay, so let's go to the GitHub page next. Nakama on GitHub, and then here you see it's a distributed server for social and real-time games and apps by Heroic Labs. And as you can see here, the features: register, login for users, storage, social, chat, multiplayer, leaderboards, tournaments, parties. Can purchase validation, in-app notification, runtime code. So you can extend the server using common logic written in Lua, TypeScript, JavaScript, or native Go, meaning that this application is written in Golang. Matchmaker, dashboard, matrix, and much more. And you see getting started, they recommend that you use a Docker. I highly recommend that as well, and I'm going to do that as well. So basically, you can download the Docker Compose file. So even though I'm on Podman, I said next week I'll explain that Podman it can be a drop-in replacement for Docker. And as you can see here, Docker Compose, and then the name of the file, and then you're up and running. So instead of me running Docker Compose, I'm going to run Podman Compose, and everything should be everything will be up and running. I just need, because I want to keep it rootless, so sometimes I need to change the port numbers, or but I'm saying is I believe this one I didn't have to do anything, as you saw in the screenshot. And you can also run the native binaries for your platform. So as you can see here, this is another way you can also run it. But I said I'm going to use the Docker or the container method. And here's the usage. As you can see here, you can use REST API. Obviously, you see here they're using the command line curl to to send or post or retrieve data. And here's the console. This is what we're going to actually take a look at in a second. And yeah, so as you can see here, the source code is all here. So if we go take a look, so what I did was, this is the code, and what I did was, why doesn't this have the what is wrong here? Where did I get the doc? Oh, view all files. So it's clipped off. I was wondering where the rest of. So the files here and the Docker. You see, there's a Docker compose Postgres, and there's some tests here, and the Docker compose YAML. So obviously, this is the one I downloaded. You see, it's still pretty updated or maintained. So this is the one I got to see. It's using the Go language. So this is one I downloaded. We can probably take a look at it here. You know what? Let's take a look at it here, because then now I don't have to open up another application. So this is the Docker compose file. So you see the port numbers are pretty nice. It's 8080. So as long as the port number is above 1000, that means that the regular user will be able to run it in Podman. So I don't have to map this to any other one. I'll leave it at 8080. That's pretty fine. And this one is obviously over 1000, 26257. And this one here, yeah, so this is perfectly fine, this ports. Anything else? I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything special here that I need to change. Even this one is which are being exposed. They're all above 1000. So this is perfect. Even this one here, 9090. Yeah, this is perfect. So meaning that I don't need to change this Docker YAML file. You can create your own, but I like this one. So basically, if you don't understand what's going to happen here, is it's going to grab Cockroach DB, that's a database, the latest in the version 2.4.1, and then here it's going to grab the Heroic Labs Nakama 3.35, and then after that it's going to set up everything for us. So it's going to basically grab two containers. One is going to be and generate a container for us. It's going to grab this image, the Cockroach DB image, and then the Nakama image, and then it will combine them into this container. So it's going to do everything for us. All you have to do is just download this file and we'll be good to go. So that's fantastic for us. All right, so with that said, let me set up here. I thought I had a folder called Nakama. Looks like I did not. Looks like I have to recreate it. All right, that's not a big deal. I will recreate it and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. We're doing everything live. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder. I'll do it out in the command line. It'll just be easier. I might do a night stream today. The weather seems to finally have let up a little bit, so I might do a night stream. I'll see. Clean and I'll clear here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a folder. I'll call it Nakama, and I'll cd into it. Nakama. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the Docker file. So I'm just going to download it this way. You see, I forgot, where is Nakama here? Nakama was N. Nakama, here we go. So you see, I downloaded it. In case you don't believe me, I'll do it again. You see, I downloaded it. I already showed that to you guys, so I'm not going to go through it. Now, all I need to do, let me clear this, is just type podman compose up -d. That's it. So up means it will stay up, and then -d means it will be detached. So instead of showing all the logs here, it will detach, meaning that it can run in the background. That's all it does. So then press enter, and as you can see, so it's downloading. I'll zoom out a little bit so you guys can get a bit back. See, it's pulling the Cockroach database. Version 24.1, if you remember from when I showed you the YAML file on GitHub, and it's also putting another one, which is this one, Prometheus. I didn't realize there's also Prometheus, but it looks like it's pulling up Prometheus as well. I think this is for proxying. I think I used this for some application. I think another game, was it another game server we did as well? Yeah, I think there was another game server where Prometheus was also used. And then here we go, it's pulling in Nakama 3.35 also. That was in the doc. Yeah, so it's finished. You see it pulled these images, cockroach DB, Prometheus, and then Nakama. Now it's up and running. So just type podman ps-a, and we can see here. So see what happened here. The cockroach database is up and running. You see here I can access it if I go to 8080. And then what's the other? Prometheus is also, that's a 9090. Okay. And finally, Nakama itself is up on port. It has a range of ports. It uses 4349 all the way up to 4351. So, and it also uses 9100. So that's for Nakama. Now, if I was doing this on my Raspberry Pi, I'll show you how we can take care of that on the Raspberry Pi. But for now, I think, yes, so now that it's up and running, I believe I should be able to go to login. If I cannot log in, I'll show you how to how to do that. I believe yeah, so I believe, yeah, so now let's go check it out now. So I'm going to open up. You see it also installed this module here, which is now, right now it's empty. I didn't create it, created by itself. So everything's up and running. You see 24 seconds ago, 32 seconds ago, and this one is 24 seconds ago. Oh, sorry, 45 seconds ago. So let's go now and what do you call it? Let's go. I'm going to tell for another tab here, and then you guys should be able to see this. Looks like this needs to be a little bit thinner. Oh, that's fine. You guys can see that. All right. So I'm going to grab this guy here. Make sure you guys can all see this. Resizing this. Okay, so up here I can just go localhost, and the port number I want is 7351. Yeah, so it's asking me for my username and password in order to log in. So the problem with this is I don't know what my username and password is. There's no default username and password, but we need to create one. So because it's using Postgres, we need to create a database user and password from the Nakama. What do you call it? We need to create the Nakama username and password. So for example, if I type in something here, yeah, so it says username incorrect because we don't have a user. So what I'm going to do is I need to create a username and password. So there's a couple ways to do this. One is, as I said before, go into the Postgres and then create the username and the password. However, there's another way to do this. I'm going to enter this Nakama. Which one was this one? This Nakama. What was the last one? This one, Nakama 1. So I'm going to enter that container and then create a username and password. So I could also do it in probably cockroach RB. I could do it that way, but I'm saying I want to do it in Nakama here. The Nakama application. So let's go do it that way. Okay, so I haven't done this in a while. I think it's podman, I think it's execute IT, and then the name I want is Nakama 1. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I'm gonna go bash. Hopefully it has bash in it. Yes, it has bash. Okay. Now there should be an application here. Let's see, there should be an application. Yeah, see, there's an application called Nakama here. So that's what I want. So all I need to do then is just create whatever database and user that I do want. So I'm going to paste this command in here. It says connection refused, could not connect. Okay, it says insecure socket. Database. Okay, so just a second, I have to find out what's going on here. I might have to do it in the database. There's a few other things I could do, but I'm going to see. Sometimes, yeah, since I remember I was telling you guys, sometimes this weird stuff okay, so it says requires a cockroach DB database and it says you can pass in multiple addresses. Okay, so maybe the address, did the address change? I might have to go take a look at those screenshots. Just give me a second here. So let's actually see if we can diagnose this. It says one server blah blah blah, blah. Connection refused. Okay, so it refused to connect to. So what was the database? I can't even remember. Let me go check the. So the database was 25. Did I make a mistake here? It's 25. Cockroach DB. So which one is the database then? This one 256. I think this is the database. I hope this is the database. Oh yeah, that's the database. Okay. So let's grab that and pass multiple database addresses to Nakama via the command line. Oh, wait. Did I make a mistake? Wait, I think I made a mistake. I probably didn't edit the YAML file. Oh yeah, that's probably why. I probably did not edit the YAML file. So give me a minute. Oh, this default. Let me try the default one. I think it's admin password. Let's try that one. Admin and password. Okay. It's admin password. So we don't need this anymore. So it's admin password. See, I did remember. Whew. Even though I'm an old guy, my brain still functions. I do remember things. All right. So the default one is admin password. Obviously, the first thing you should do when you log in is to go to, you see it's logged in as admin, and change the passwords there. So this is the default dashboard. So as you can see here, it's Nakama 1. Remember, we're running inside a container here, and then you can look at all the other stats like the uptime, the sessions, persons, parties, and how many countries. Oh, sorry, I was going to say countries. Go routines. Okay, so we can choose something that's a dashboard. How many players? Obviously, right now there's just that one, because this was just created just 10 minutes ago already. Wow. And then obviously you have storage. You can create some objects there, and matches, leaderboards. Obviously, none of this are going to have anything right now because literally this was just installed, as you guys saw, and I've just logged in. Then there's notifications. You can send notifications, payments, and chat messages. Yeah, so right, and you can obviously delete messages as well. The API Explorer. I'll come back to this in a second. I'll show you how it's set up. And then there's runtime modules, and let's go to settings. So under settings, you can create users, permission templates, go to general, set it to use the show dates in UTC time, configuration. You see it says console password insecure. That's, as you guys saw me when I tried to change the password. So you see it does log things, and they're here. This, you can scroll down, you can see there's a whole bunch of other stuff as well. And then data management, you can delete all the Nakama player data, and then there's an audit log as well. Okay, so there's also other, as I said before, there's other endpoints. So this is for the Nakama 1, which is you see 7351. But if we go to another one here, as an example, we can also do the API. Remember, I promised I would show you the API. So for that one, the port number is 7350. Remember, there was there's a range of ports. So here you can send things, and for Nakama, this is the endpoint. And then there's also 8080. If you remember 8080, that was for the 8080. That was for the cockroach DB. So this is the one here. You see it's interactive GBO. Okay, so I don't know why that did that, but that's wrong. Oh, let me do a hard refresh. Hard refresh should fix that. There we go. See, it's a cockroach database, the console. That's 8080. I just did a hard refresh because you guys know I use port 8080 for other things. That's why I said I prefer to use containers, so that way, because I still do some testing locally as well, they don't interfere with each other, especially containers. This is why I love using containers. You see version 24.1.25 at the time of this recording. This is the console, obviously, for the cockroach DB. As you can see, what it says here, used percentage. Obviously, I'm using nothing now. Used 6.7 of it to set it up. And usable, it has 25.2 gigs because that's what I have on this particular partition. So my main partition, the nodes live, replication statuses. So you can look at the matrix. Obviously, this is rarely being used. The databases, it has a default DB, no data. Nakama, which is using 95.7. There's Postgres, no data for that one, and system. SQL activity, you see it did insert tuples, select version. So as you can see, all this, so you can see the log there. Insights, hot ranges, jobs. If it's a little bit slow, it will be queued up. You can see all that stuff here. Scheduled, and you see it does scheduled to do some type of telemetry, and what is it here? Compaction, and then advanced debug. So you can take a look at that as well. There's one more as well. There's also for Prometheus. So for Prometheus, we go to localhost and we go to 9090. And you see this is where you can run your queries. As I said, I do remember using, maybe that's the first time I used Prometheus was for Nakama. So here's Prometheus. This is where you can add queries and stuff. For example, if you want to test things to your API, especially the Nakama one, you would, you can do it here. have table, graph, or explain. So yeah, this is very good, especially if you're a developer and you're trying to create your own trying to make sure your query is correct instead of trying it out the hard way. It's a good idea to have an application like this for testing. So I'm really pleased that this comes fully with all the tools you need to get started. And obviously this one also has some settings. This is clearly, you can change the mode. And I think the other one, this one is automatically, obviously during the day, during night, it will just change. For example, right now it's cloudy, so it probably thinks it's late afternoon. It's actually it is in the afternoon. And the settings here, as you can see, someone enabled, someone disabled. You pick and choose. This is the documentation, and the menu here: query, alerts, and status. Okay, so that is Nakama. As I said, if you can find, which I don't think exists, so you can also do the same thing on the Raspberry Pi. So this is right now running inside a container. That's what I recommend you do, run it inside a container. But if you're really constrained with space, you can obviously put it on your Raspberry Pi. So now, how much time? Okay, it's been half an hour. I'm not sure if I should attempt to put it on the Raspberry Pi. I don't think it's going to work, because I'll tell you why I am worried. So let's see, Nakama system requirements. Okay, so I think it's a little bit heavy, even though it uses Golang. So as you can see here, it says that Nakama custom Go, it's one node, one CPU, 3 gigs of RAM. If you guys remember how much RAM I have half a gig of RAM. So that is, that is not going to work. I mean, I will have to really constrain it. So, and obviously they recommend you have a 64-bit system. This is a 32-bit system, so I'll definitely have to compile it. And for this, most likely it'll be faster for me to use emulation on my workstation to get a 32-bit version and try to install it here. So I don't think it's really worth it. So you see here, the development small load, it's one CPU. Obviously I do have one CPU, and it says 3 gigs RAM, which I don't have. It says minimum 2 nodes. Yeah, that I don't even, they're the same, but I still don't have the 3 gigs of RAM. High load, two CPUs. Obviously there's only one CPU. 6 gig of RAM, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay, yeah, not going to happen. So I'm not going to bother, because I don't want to waste you guys' time and my time. So if you do have a Raspberry Pi that has more RAM, have at it. Especially 64-bit, go for it. But I'm saying is I do not, so it's not going to work on my particular Raspberry Pi. Because I have the first generation Raspberry Pi 0W. All right, so let's finish up this tutorial. And okay, so let me show you how to bring this down as well. A lot of people, one thing I always dislike, I'm going to show you how to install stuff, but they never show you how to remove it. So I'll show you how to remove it. So right now I'm inside this folder. So all you have to do is type podman compose down. Then it's going to bring those 3 containers down. Remember, we have cockroach DB, we have Prometheus, and we have Nakama. So that command is going to bring all of them down. So you see it's stopping Prometheus, and then it's going to stop the other. Oh, it already stopped Nakama and cockroach. Yeah, so there we go. I guess those are volumes. I think some of these are volumes, so we'll get rid of those as well. So with that, just type podman volume ls. You see it created some volumes which I don't need, so I'm going to delete those volumes as well. So you can just type podman volume prune. Yes, I don't have, just put prune. Yes, so that should get rid of them. Yeah, so you got rid of them. If I type podman volume ls, they're all gone. I could use podman desktop for this, by the way, in case you're wondering. So then what I do is I type podman images. You see there's Prometheus, Nakama, and CockroachDB. So I don't need all of them, so what I'll do is just type RMI for remove. I'll just grab this ID, paste, and then I'm going to grab this ID, copy, paste, space, and then this one, Prometheus. Copy and paste. So that's the three of them. You see, deleted all of them. So what that means that there is no, if I type Podman ps-a, oops, I spelled Podman wrong. Yeah, there are no containers. If I type volume ls, there's no volumes. And if I type images, Podman space images, there are no images. So I got rid of the containers, I got rid of volumes, I got rid of the images, all gone. Now my disk space is back up to normal. Alright, so that's the end of Nakama. I don't game, so I don't need a game server. So this was just a quick review. Now let's finish up this tutorial. If you're ready to take your skills further, I have books on Amazon. Search for Fedora Jumbo. The link is also in the description. I also have online courses at JumboShop.com. The link is also in the description. And finally, if you need one-on-one tutorials, especially for programming, you can contact me at jumbo.com/contact. Or if you need something else, you can contact me for service consultations at jumboservices.com/contact. I also have some other recommended resources. I'm now, besides being a freelance programmer, I'm also now an author. So this is my first novelette. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's by me there, Fedora Jumbo. It's about an AI scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind. So he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. It's a psychological thriller. It's a novelette. Pick it up if you have the means. It's mostly at cost. And the other way, my greatest one is this one, the Recession Business Blueprint. It's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. And it has everything you need. Whether you're trying to find out where you should run the business, whether you need to go back to school to learn maybe a skill you're missing, whether you need to budget, where to find your customers, suppliers, all that in the Recession Business Blueprint. There are a lot of tables because some people like the visual way of learning, and there's a lot of text as well. So meaning every page has table and text. I should be able to cover my both bases that way. So pick it up, and if you have any questions about any book I write or anything I do, you can use the comment form. I'll show you that in a few minutes. If you want to know more about me, as I said before, I'm now a software engineer and an author. My book page is on Amazon. My if you need any consultation services, jumboservices.com. By the way, I just recently revamped that website. And there's also, if you're ready to learn online, jumboshop.com. All right, this is the comment form. It stays up for 14 days after the article goes live, so you can post things. For example, today we talked about the Raspberry Pi, talked about Nakama, talked about game servers. All that's perfectly fine, including the Golang. Okay, so but the best way to contact me is to use the contact forms. The contact forms are jumbo.com/contact or jumboservices.com/contact or jumboshop.com/contact. If you want to follow me, these are the channels: Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, which I live stream to every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. And with that said, I'm now going to also remind you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. The more people subscribe, the more the content gets pushed out to more viewers. Those viewers join this community, post tips and tricks, or they post requests, which I review, and then I'll share with everyone. Okay, and then on to the outro. And if you want to see what's upcoming, you simply go to jumbo.com, watch menu, live summary. You can see we just finished this host a multiplayer game server on a Raspberry Pi 0W. After that, tomorrow I'll show you how to begin game development using Godot 4. I believe it's 6.1 or 6.2. Then after that, we'll show you how you can use Apache Guacamole in order to remotely access your desktop from anywhere. All you need is a web browser. And then after that, a fun little tutorial where I'll show you how you can master Blender automation with Python for rigging, creating your own rigging scripts. Rigging means like having born amateurs. After that, there will be a podcast for the absolute beginner guide to AMD local AI, because a lot of people also ask me, oh, this stuff is too complicated. Can AMD GPU also work? Absolutely, especially one that's no longer officially supported. Okay, so that's it, guys. Didn't see any chat requests today, so I'm going to leave you now, and I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. If the weather doesn't snow tonight, I might do a night stream. But other than that, thanks again, and bye. See you soon.